This video is for entertainment purposes only. We started out this morning in the mid-30s for temperature, and we should be warming up into the mid-60s today. So the temperatures are kind of a little bit cool, but that's not going to stop me from working on my motorcycle and getting it ready for when the temperatures finally do warm up a little bit. So the project for today is going to be to replace the battery, and I'm going to use a gel cell battery as opposed to a lead acid battery. One of the advantages to using the gel cell is you don't have to add water. So I can leave the battery right in the bike, and using a floating charger to keep it charged, I don't have to keep taking it in and out to add water. Now, even though changing the battery is a fairly simple job, we still have to remember I'm working with electricity, so I have to be careful. The battery is hiding behind this cover here, and so the first thing I have to do is remove this Allen head screw. And so taking my 5mm Allen wrench here, I'm going to remove this bolt. And that allows me to pop the cover off here. There is a rubber grommet on the back that you just pull right out. Let me set this down here. And we'll pull it out, being careful not to scratch everything up. Now we'll just pull the cover right out, and we can see the battery tucked away. Now, looking at the battery here, we can see here's a wire that's connected to the positive side. And I actually added this wire here. This goes up to media adapter, or what we used to call in the old days a cigarette lighter. It's a dual cigarette lighter. I can run my GPS, and I can run my GoPro off the outlet up there to provide continuous power. And I do have it fused for overload condition, or in case there would be a short in the wire. Now, this motorcycle uses what they call a negative ground. And what that means is the positive wire goes out to all the electrical accessories and the starter solenoid. The negative terminal right here just is the ground. And usually they use the frame as a ground. And this is a thing you have to be careful of. If you touch anything to the positive wire in the ground, you're going to get a short. So if you're working on a motorcycle with a negative ground, you want to take the ground wire off first. Then I'll take my 10mm socket and remove the bolt from the negative cable here. And I'll just take this cable and tuck it away so it can't come back and touch the battery. Okay, now I'm going to remove the protective boot away from the wire. And I'll take my 10mm again. And we'll remove the second bolt. Now, the battery is held into the tray with this rubber strap here. You can see the helpful arrow there pointing towards the rubber strap. To get that out, pretty easy. You just put a little tension on it and pull it away from the hook. And we'll tuck that out of the way. And we'll tuck our positive wire out of the way. And now I should just be able to pull the battery out of the tray. The one thing with the battery here is you want to be mindful that you don't touch the positive and negative terminals on any metal at the same time, or you're going to get a spark, a very big spark. So I'll just grab the battery and see if I can kind of work it out a little bit. And we can see it pops out like so. And we can see we've got some real fine dust in the battery tray here, so I'll get a rag and clean that out. And now put the new battery in by reversing the steps. We'll just take the battery and slide it into the battery box. And we'll take the strap and rehook it. You will rehook it on the bottom hold down. There we go. So now after cleaning the media cable and the battery cable, I'm going to take my bolt, and this time I'm going to use a screwdriver because it's easier to push the bolt into the nut than using the socket. And I'm going to start it. Now I have the bolt started, and I'm going to make sure that my rubber protector is out from behind it, because I don't want to get that in between the terminal and the battery, between the wire terminal and the battery. And now I'm going to take my 10mm socket here and just tighten it up. There we go. We'll take our rubber shield there and put it over the terminal. And now after cleaning the negative cable, we'll take the bolt here with the screwdriver and we'll get that started. And then we'll finish tightening it with the 10mm socket. And there we go. And I took a little time to clean around the battery and clean behind the battery cover here. Believe it or not, this is metal. A lot of times you see a lot of plastic in bikes, but this cover is actually metal. And now there's two rubber grommets in the back here. And we have to make sure the cover's pressed in on both of them. You'll feel them push into place. And then we'll take our bolt here and get that started. And then we'll take our wrench here and give that a little tighten. And it's just that simple. And here's a shot of that media center. When you saw that wire in the positive terminal, this is where this is going to. This is just a double socket thing that I bought from Walmart. I used an aluminum plate here for metal, and then I just used a split collar. And I can run my GPS and my GoPro off this little power outlet here. The other handy thing is when it comes time to charge the battery, I just use a little socket like this for my floating charger, and I can just push it into the outlet here, so I don't have to have a wire hanging off the side of my bike. I actually can charge back through this little media port. Comes in pretty handy. There's also a couple covers right here to protect the openings there when you're not using them. Keeps water out. So now we have our new battery installed into the 2008 Yamaha Vstar Silverado, and we should be good for another, I'd say 3-4 years.